basically my like whole. Oh yeah, we gotta record this, huh?
Yeah, I forgot to hit
Oh,
record.
Oops.
So
You
oh,
want me to
oops.
start over?
no. Just keep going.
Okay,
Just
cool.
keep going.
I was
Ignore
like, it
the
yelled at me.
board.
What
Yeah.
happened?
You
But
looked like you were getting bored, so I had to do something. You just
yeah,
got messing with the camera. I'm over here like
yes,
getting interested in what David was talking about. She's like, I have ADD. Come on.
yeah. I think we all
Sorry,
have that.
my
Yeah,
camera has a mind of its own, and it
yeah,
like, I don't know, it just does its thing.
yeah.
So
All right,
But
let's
yeah,
get back to
so
serious.
yeah, so like I said, it was on my 17th birthday, and it was just like I finally realized I didn't have a relationship with Jesus. You know, like I said, I believed in him, I read the Bible, like I loved him, but it's like I didn't know him, and that made all the difference in the world. So I remember like actually like my salvation, like everything. I mean, I already confessed in my mouth and believed in my heart that Jesus was Lord, but it was like I jumped forward, and it was like I jumped both feet in, and it was like that was like everything, and I was like, okay, and that kind of, like I said, I prayed the prayer, I confessed and all that stuff. So I already was saved technically, but it's like I finally like realized what I was missing. And everything since then has just been like, constant, relationship with God, and that he's in my life all the time, and it's just like, yeah, I never want to go back. And it's like I'm glad that I get him now and I get him in the future, and I, get to spend eternity with him, and yeah, he's blessed me more than I deserve, far more.
Well, your testimony right now just shows that it does work. You can go from being a bad person to turn your life around, and it's not really considered a bad person. You're just lost.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
We've all had our times when we were lost and we were just out there. My vices was alcohol, because it was trying to fill a void that I wanted, and the void was Jesus. But at that time, you're more focused on yourself. You're more like, I just want to me, and you're forgetting about him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so what you do when you start doing stuff and you get that thrill, and then the thrill starts kind of fading away, so you have to add more thrill to it. And that's the whole reason why drugs are so addictive, is that
Mm-hmm.
you got that thrill and you want to get that high, and then you you want to feel that high again. So when you start getting that tolerance in your body, you start getting more and more and start doing. Then you have the unfortunate what happens to people, rock stars, comedians, your everyday Joe. They tend to have that addiction take over to the death of them, and it's unfortunate. And I'm so grateful for God that he's got me out of that addiction. And I'm grateful for God to get you out, get you set straight there, sir. You were scared straight
Oh yeah,
in there.
pretty
Well,
much. Yeah.
Yeah.
Monica is probably the worst one out of all of us. She looks like she's the worst one.
It's always the quiet ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're front vocal. You should be like owning this show. Own it, girl. I can't believe I did that, and I
I'm
actually
actually
recorded that. Wow.
I'm actually the introvert of the two of us.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm quiet, but silent but deadly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's a day at Taco Bell for
Pretty much. Well, I don't
I
know.
was waiting for
Sometimes
a
not so
joke.
silent. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
here, a little drum beat there. Y'all didn't hear it, but y'all hear it
Yeah.
next time y'all listen. So
Yep.
that means y'all have to listen to your own
Mhm.
self-talk.
Yep.
Take that, guys. Take it.
Yep. Oh, we'll share this and everything too. So
Yeah.
happy to do that.
Yeah. So Monica, tell us a little something about your growing ups. It's your turn.
Like I guess as far as like my testimony goes, I mean, I've always, I've been saved ever since I could talk. But I went through, my mom actually, she married a guy that, because I didn't have my dad. But yeah, she married a guy that ended up being really abusive and everything. So I dealt with that growing up. And yeah, I was pretty much abused in every type of way you can think of. And literally the only reason I'm here is because of Jesus. So he kept me alive, and he made me stronger for it. And yeah, so I mean, and I think as far as my life goes, basically my mom had 5 miscarriages before me and 1 after me. So I think I was just kind of born a fighter. And just throughout my entire life, I've just been constantly fighting, technically, with I've gone through all the abuse, and just I grew up poor, and I'm still poor right now. But
I used
yeah,
to grow up
so
like one of y'all peasants. Now I have an office.
yes, I have a room now. um no, but yeah, so I guess I've become tough, with everything that I've been through. And it's and like I said, I'm here, and I am the way that I am because of God, you know. And I would have died probably 10 times by now without him. So that's the like really short condensed version of my life, I guess.
Yeah. Next on the Johnny Taco's Taco Tuesday testimonials, we'll have Monica and her 5-hour long testimony
Oh geez.
coming soon to a theater near you.
Right.
But yeah, my heart fills out for you for the abuse that you took. I've seen it firsthand, what happens, and it's a miracle. God has been with you. He's always been there with you since all the good times and the bad times, and it makes you who you are, the strong woman. And just seeing you, that all the stuff that you went through did not sour you from going from you giving your heart to Jesus.
Yeah.
That just shows that you are a strong woman. Hear you roar.
Pretty much.
She is a warrior.
We're waiting for you to roar.
She is a warrior for sure.
I'm
Yeah.
a warrior.
I am a brown belt. So
Yeah.
there's
Oh,
that.
okay. Well, yeah. Okay.
So physically,
Next time I have my concerts, I'm gonna hire her as my bodyguard.
Yeah, I'd
Just
recommend.
yeah.
just don't carry me, because then that just look weird.
Yeah, she'll do it anyway.
It's
Because you
fine.
said it. Yeah.
So you're a brown belt in what, karate or
Yeah.
taekwondo or aikido?
Yeah, karate. And I'd like to get my black belt eventually, but it's been so long. I probably need to retake everything, because I was in karate when I was like 15. So
Me too.
yeah, I would need a refresher.
Well, that was only like what, 3 years ago?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Ish.
Ish, give or take.
Yeah. So musical, have you always wanted to start a band, or is this just like a new beginning for you? Do you have any musical background?
So David, do you want to go, or do you want me to go first?
Go ahead. Yeah, you go first. I got time.
Okay. Well, so when I was about 8, 9, 10 years old, something like that, I actually went to my mom and I had been going to this church where there was this worship leader, and she was a fantastic vocalist. She was awesome. And she was kind of the first one to inspire me to want to sing. And then back then, that was when the Fallen record by Evanescence came out. And Amy Lee, she kind of made me picture myself on stage. And I was kind of like I was like, I want to do this, I was like, I want to grow up to be a rock star kind of thing. So
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Keep
I
going.
win.
Sorry, she wins. Yeah.
No, that was about it. So I mean, I guess since I was 10 years old, I've been singing. I took piano lessons, stuff like that. So
So and it just came naturally. Did you hear somebody like play the piano or like who were some of the musicians that you adored?
mainly it was Amy Lee. Um, she, I just thought she was a great singer, and I wanted to sing like that. And so pretty much from the time I was 10 years old, I took piano lessons and got into singing, and I was in band and choir, and then eventually in my adult years I took professional one-on-one vocal lessons and vocal coaching. So I learned from opera singers.
And
I
that's
had
what
the
a lot of rock musicians, a lot of vocalists, they get their ranges from listening to opera and to go to a place that teaches opera, to a vocal coach that does that. Uh,
yeah.
Especially in the 80s. I'm showing my age now. Especially in the 80s, like Warrant and Skid Row and all them, they have actually either did their time doing choir at the church, or actually doing theatrical or opera kind of music. And
Mm-hmm.
and it's a really great exercise for
Mm-hmm.
your vocals. Back in my pre Christian days, I really loved um King Diamond. I really liked King Diamond because he had a range of different types of vocals. He can go like really low like this, or really high, which I'm not going to do it because then I'll just sound weird. But he had that vocal. Didn't really agree with his music because it was satanic. Even back then, I didn't feel comfortable listening to satanic music all the time. I was just more intrigued by his vocals.
Mm-hmm.
So and just to give y'all a little more of a taste of her vocals, we have the next song coming up is called Empty. And yeah, is that like that's Italian,
That's
right?
our yeah.
That's
Hey,
part of
sir.
it's part of the lore that we have. We're both Italian, and that all started actually because of her.
Yeah, because
So
I use my hands a lot when I talk,
yeah, I do too.
and I do this a lot. And yeah,
Yeah,
I started it.
we've known each other for a while, a few years now. I think like 2020 was when we first met online, and then
Yeah.
we first met like in person in 2021 at KCF, Kingdom Come Festival up in Indiana. I think one of the first times I saw it, like when I first met her, she's like, "Hey," and like I was like, "Oh, that's a thing. That's right." So I started doing that back, and it became a thing between the two of us. And then when we started Theoterran, it just kind of became more evident, and we kind of used it for
Well, we
just
got the label started on it
right.
first.
Yeah, so the label started doing it in 2021 before we started Theoterran, and then it's kind of become a thing online, and then all our fans are doing it, and it's become
It's the
synonymous.
domino. Yeah, domino effect.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it's better than the COVID-19 epidemic. It's the hand gesture epidemic.
Yes, this
Yes,
yes,
pretty much.
Hey, it's
yes.
me, Mario.
Hey,
it's me, Mario.
But what we're gonna do is we're gonna take a break. We're gonna listen to Empty here on the Johnny Taco Show. Okay, what I wanted to do is because we're getting closer to the ending of the Zoom. If y'all could just re-up on the
oh yeah.
Yeah, we can do that.
And then we'll go on more.
Sounds
So
good.
I just need to refresh the or re-click on the link?
Just re-click on,
hit leave and re-click on the link. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Cool.
And you have to do it. You have to
I'll
do
be
it
back.
now. Now I said now.
I'm trying. I lost it.
Hit the leave button.
So we won't have that on the record button of the podcast. So you ready?
I was born ready.
For war.
This is what we were born for.
All right, here we go. I feel so nervous. All right, we are back with Empty. And speaking of empty, my stomach is empty. After this interview, I'm going to get, guess what? Y'all have two
Tacos.
guesses? Hey,
Tacos.
I'm supposed to answer that quickly. Jeez.
Well, here's the funny thing. Taco is actually the middle of my last name, so you're welcome. You won't be able to unsee that now.
Yeah, Pataconi.
Mm-hmm. So we get along famously.
So you're going, you could be a part of the street taco team.
Pretty much, yeah.
David Taco. I have a Johnny Taco. I have a Josh Taco. Now I have a David Taco. Maybe Monica could be a Monica Taco. Monaco.
So there's a little thing we inside joke. I don't know if this will be video or not, but
yeah, it's the
turn the hand. It's a taco holder.
Taco holder.
Yeah, it's
so it doubles. Yeah. It's the Italian hand.
Doubles as
and you hold
holder.
the taco.
Mm-hmm.
It's the Swiss knife of hand gestures.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Because you can also hold other things.
Mm-hmm. Pretty sharp there, Monica.
Yes.
Right.
Ha 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 ha. So okay, so now we're going to talk to David. We're going to get to his professional love of music. So what instrument did you start on? The piano? Were you a pianist?
I wish I would have, but no, I started tinkering with the guitar when I was 13, and I have not progressed much since then. But no, I started the guitar, and I've always had like a beat or melody in my head since I was far back as I can remember. And I started using FL Studio, I think 2007, knowing absolutely nothing about mixing or mastering or anything. So all my early stuff I thought was really cool. I look back, I'm like, oh, this hurts my everything. So, but I kept at it.
The garage.
And yeah, the garage years, the garage band years. Yeah. Do they even do that anymore?
Yeah, of course. If they didn't, you can bring it back.
Yeah,
I have a good feeling that David's going to bring back the garage days.
A grunge garage band.
I have an old recording of me and my band that I had when I was a kid. We only knew 2 power chords, and our vocals were more punk, which meant that it was not very tunable. And the drums was a trash can and 2 wooden sticks. Yep.
Yeah, that's accurate. That sounds about right.
Yeah.
Because we wanted to be the next Dead Kennedys or, Rancid or, I'm just trying to throw out some of the popular punk bands that people might know. The Ramones.
Did you just want a Pepsi and they wouldn't give you one?
Oh yeah, suicidal tendencies. That's what this tattoo is.
Yeah. Oh, nice. All right. Yeah. Hey.
Avoid that tattoo.
We'll put some censoring on that later.
Yes, we'll just put a little happy face on there.
There you go.
But I have a bunch, but I got a little tennis elbow because I play tennis, not really, on the Wii.
Nice.
So who are your influences?
Don't
say Ben and Jerry.
Well, they do make good ice cream.
Cherry Garcia.
Yeah, Cherry Garcia. Fish food is probably my favorite though. Out of all their stuff, that's my go-to.
Doesn't sound very appetizing.
It's better than it sounds. Yeah, I don't know what. I mean, it's PHISH. It's named after the band.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's not like a sardine flavored ice cream because that would just be gross.
Well, I was gonna freeze up some of my fish food and try it. And I was like, I don't know. I'll just send it. I'll send it to you.
Maybe a little cold and flaky.
Feliz Navidad.
Yeah. Hey. As far as my influences, I think growing up, I liked a lot of stuff, but I mean, I remember as a young teen, in junior high, I kind of determined that if I ever made a band at the time, this shows my age, also. So you're in good company, by the way. I wanted a cross between Nine Inch Nails, Nirvana, and Alice in Chains.
Okay, so it does show that you're old.
Yeah, I'm not young. Hey, nice. This is the way. But no, I think as I grew older, and I think my main influences now, I mean, it'd be kind of a cross between like Nine Inch Nails, Depeche Mode, pretty much anything by Clayton. So like Circle of Dust, Scandroid, Cell Dweller. But I like a lot of music. I mean, I think as I grew older, I broadened my horizons. I like everything from like jazz to Bob Marley to whatever mood I'm in. So I could be listening to classical and be completely happy. So, um, but yeah, I think with our style of music, as far as Theoterran, I mean, obviously we have the electronic side of things, a little bit of industrial, rock in there. We have some cinematic things. Monica's got awesome vocals that are better than mine.
Not better, just different.
Different, yeah. But yeah, I think even with our whole thing with Theoterran, there's a whole cinematic side of it where we are also writing like a whole story behind it, with lore and everything. We've invited our friends and fans to write with us, to create their own character, kind of like a Dungeons and Dragons thing, but with an alternate timeline, kind of a post-apocalyptic. I don't know, kind of
Yeah, like
it's
dystopian,
dystopian, yeah, like
cyberpunk.
cyberpunk. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to be Daryl. I want to be Daryl from Walking Dead. I'm Daryl. Oh.
Okay. Yeah. So if you go,
you can be Daryl if you want.
yep, you can
Just
even create your name as Daryl.
You heard that. Monica said I could be Daryl anytime I want. So
Yeah.
I go around with a crossbow and the cops are going to try to pull me over and say, I'm Daryl. I'm Daryl.
Yep. I
Yeah.
actually have a crossbow. It's awesome.
He does.
I do.
I have a Nerf crossbow. Everybody
Still
got
counts,
quiet.
yeah.
What? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're manly.
I didn't know
When
Nerf
you really
made.
when you really want to scare your enemies.
Yeah.
So how did y'all meet? Was it like on a music page or like Bandcamp or?
It's just regular Facebook.
Yeah.
Literally.
Well, yeah. I mean, officially, like she kept coming up as like a suggested friend. I think it was like 2020. And I generally don't like add people, but she just kept coming up, and I was like, okay, I kind of was like, okay, I'll add her, and she accepted my friend request, and we just kind of started talking, and like I think you did like a couple
I did an
karaoke videos.
Evanescence cover.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, she can sing,
Yeah.
And so I had a song that I was working on my own project, David Pataconi. And I sent it to her. I was like, hey, would you be interested in singing on this? And she said, yeah, sure. She liked it. So yeah, I had her guest on that. I had some demo vocals that I had sung, and then so it made it easier for her to sing and then she did extra layers and all that stuff, and it just sounded awesome. And that song actually became a hit. And so in 2021 for KCF, Kingdom Come Festival, we flew her out to sing that song live.
No, that was actually last year.
Oh yeah,
sorry,
2022.
I couldn't make
yes.
it. Yeah, I couldn't make it in 21 because
right. Yeah. So
I guess like I couldn't afford the plane ticket or something.
Yeah. So sorry, 2022. If I can get my math right.
Math.
We don't math here. Yeah, she flew out and we were able to sing that song together on stage and just had a ton of fun. And she was kind of guesting on a couple of things while she was there, and she became family to me, to the label, and everyone on there and everything. And then the next month in July, we actually started working. Actually, July 1st, we started working on Warcry, and then July 4th, we officially declared it as a band. We decided to actually do this as a full project and stuff. So.
Yeah, and we weren't going to at first because we were like, oh, well, we'll just make more Pataconi music, we'll do more songs together. And then we were just like, actually,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how did the name come alive? Because Patatoni sounds like an awesome name. It'd be like and make it look like death metal kind of writing.
You could.
You
Yeah,
know,
I haven't thought of that. I could.
Yeah, you could.
Patagonia death metal vocals.
Yeah.
meow meow.
Yeah.
Yeah, meow.
Tell him about how you, because you came up with
Yeah.
that
So
with Theoterran.
I came up with Theoterran like years ago, and it's actually two words put together. So Theo meaning God, and Terran is a science fiction term meaning either people of Earth or relating to people of Earth. So the actual name means God relating to people of Earth. And I came up with that in like 2016, before I signed the label. And even when I signed the label, AD Windmill Media Records, I was trying to figure out what I wanted to rebrand my music as, because I didn't want my name to be my band name, even though I was already using it for that. And I went through hundreds, literally hundreds of names, and like everything was taken. And I kept praying about it, and God's just like, dude, just use your name. Like it's simple. I'm like, all right, you know. So I totally forgot, even in that whole process, I forgot about Theoterran. And so when we actually came up with the band, trying to figure out what we're going to call it and stuff like that, and all of a sudden remembered, I was like, oh yeah, I had this name. So I ran it by Monica, and she said,
I was kind of like, I was like, I don't know. I was like, I don't know. How do I feel about this? I was like, we'll just kind of see how it goes.
mm-hmm.
And then we started coming up with different ideas for the logo for it. And we started out with a battle axe.
Yeah, there's a couple battle axes. Yeah.
Yeah. And we were
And
like, how can
Norse.
we make this look more like a logo and like cool looking?
Mm-hmm.
So as you can see,
Yeah.
it looks like a battle axe.
Mm-hmm.
But sorry, I just conveniently had the CD right there.
Product placement.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Product
Well,
placement.
And originally she wanted to do something with like Vikings, you know, and
Yeah.
she wanted like, oh, I'm like, well, how do you do like electronic
Because of Warcry.
Viking? Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was kind of the first song, but then we kind of came up with like Cyber Vikings. So we merged like Cyberpunk and Vikings together. And then we just were like, well, what does that look like? You know, what is a Cyber Viking? And so we just kind of like continued with this story, and it's become what we've created, and God's created through us and everything. And so, yeah, they're basically it's in a cyberpunk world. You know, they don't look like stereotypical Vikings and stuff, but they're still battle hardened and all that stuff. But they're fighting against a tyrannical government, and basically the epitome of the Antichrist. You know, Union City.
Yeah, Union City Corporation.
Mm-hmm.
And Altair Labs.
Yeah.
Wow, y'all have it like y'all must have went like really had a big powwow and just wrote down the lore and the myth and.
Mm-hmm.
Well, my husband actually, he's big into D&D, and he actually came up with a lot of the elements for the whole world for Theoterran, and just the stories. And I mean, he's still helping us with just naming things, you know, coming up with, right now we currently have, how many gangs are in Union City now? There's a few gangs,
like 5
and
or 6.
we've come up with all these different names for these different gangs, and like their different rivalries with each other. And we have this thing called the Upgrade, which was developed by Altair Labs. And the Upgrade is essentially the mark.
Mm-hmm.
And it's, you know, Union City Corporation, they're like, oh yeah, get this thing called the Upgrade because it cures diseases and it can make you look pretty, and it's good for you, and it's free for all, and
Yeah,
kind of thing. But
I like it.
Yeah. So, but it's essentially the mark. If you read, you know, Revelations, it's basically that's what that is. So
there's a lot of undertones in this story. And part of it is like we're not aiming the project necessarily at the Christian market, even though we're not ignoring it. We want to reach more people, and so even like the way we write it and we write the story and the lyrics and everything, there's a ton of undertones on there. We're not hiding the fact that we're Christians. We're very much in love with the Lord, and you know, but we also want to make it approachable for anyone to like really kind of just, even at first, be like, well, this is really cool. What is this? You know, And the more they listen, the more they read and into the lore and this and the lyrics and all that stuff, like it's evident. Like Christians will get it right away. I mean, even
Yeah.
people like, like Jewish people and stuff like that, they'll understand some of the references. I mean, like God's name in Theoterra is Adonai, you know. But yeah, there's just a lot of undertones where like this upgrade basically, like you get it installed on your right hand or your forehead, and it recodes your DNA, so you're immediately immune to 5 different types of cancer, like the common cold, the common flu, and it's on like a cellular network. So as the science develops and they learn more things, and you can become more immune to other things and increase your metabolism, lose weight, adjust some of your features so you're not ugly, but not like, so you don't get like superhero powers or like that. It's not
Welcome
that
to
far
Union City,
where everyone is
where
pretty.
everyone looks pretty.
Yes.
That's their theme song.
So yeah, but basically, like the whole premise is it's given out for free, and like so Union City kind of is they're the ones that kind of like distribute it and everything.
They're like the one world, the new
Right.
world order, one world
Yeah.
government thing.
Yeah. And so
Is
what
Union City
happens?
Corp.
Yeah. So what happens is like these smaller countries are like, well, you're doing this, like you're really good humanitarian thing. Our government sucks. Why don't you just take it over? And so one by one, they start basically giving control to Union City to basically be their governorate. And the guy who developed it, Silas Altair, who works for Altair Labs, he ends up becoming the CEO of Union City Corporation and basically the CEO of the world, because corporations always run things perfectly. And so in this, yeah, so in the story, like my character, I work in the lab and I overhear a conversation that I wasn't supposed to, where they're like, "Hey, we need to keep people from uninstalling it." And so they basically kind of tell the public, "Hey, now you've had it installed. Don't uninstall it because it's recoded your DNA. You could get sick and possibly die." But they don't actually tell them the actual premises. They send a kill signal. So I don't know if we can
Yeah.
say that on podcast, but they
Heal, say
yeah.
heal.
We'll just beep it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, so I'm kind of like, okay, I gotta warn people, and so I tell my sister, who's Monica slash Eos, and I tell her husband,
Oh, and you're
my
Enoch,
brother-in-law,
by the
and I'm
way.
an
He's
Enoch.
Enoch.
Yes, yeah. So I end up telling them, and then there's like 5 people I work with, and we basically all have different skills, and so we find this city in Norway called Theoterra, and it's in this like giant valley between mountains and stuff, but it's all like self-sustained, and so we basically end up building an artificial mountain on top of it, and it's you could climb it. It's got vegetation. It looks like a real mountain, and we basically build all these like tunnels underneath so we can kind of go back and forth and all that stuff. And so it takes place, like I said, starts in 2020. It's currently in 2023, so it's going along the same timeline we are. It's just an alternate timeline. And so at this point, we've escaped. Before I leave, I work in IT, so I basically end up erasing all the previous visual data or any sort of data that says Theoterra was there, and I replace all the visuals where it's like all the pictures. There's a mountain there, so that's always been there according to every world record. And then we leave, and we got to figure out, okay, how do we uninstall this upgrade for people because we don't want them to have it. And so currently, in this timeline, we are trying to develop a way to do that, but eventually basically we find a method where we have this submersion, this liquid, this white liquid that they basically go under, and it blocks the cellular frequency, so we can uninstall it without them sending the
Yeah, we
ending signal.
can basically like hack into what we've called, it's the internet, but it's the internet slash, I guess, dark web. We called it the cell net. So like cell phone, cellular, and the net, internet. So while they're in this liquid that's disrupting the signal, we can go in and hack it to where
uninstall it.
Yeah, where we can basically uninstall the upgrade from them
They
without.
get they get baptized.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah.
It's our cyberpunk sci-fi version of that.
Yeah. So then basically we go out and like talk to people, like try to find like, who wants it uninstalled kind of things. We use like code words and phrases and things like that. So evangelize, if you will. So I said there's a lot of like the science fiction's there, and I've been a science fiction fan since I was a kid, but
nerd.
I know I'm a nerd.
Same.
Yeah, but that's kind of where we're going with it. And so like we invite all our fans, if they go to archiveofourown.org, they can create a free account on there. You can look for Theoterra or the world of Theoterra. And if you create your art, you create your own character and all that stuff, but then basically you can like write yourself into the story and tag it with the same Theoterra tag, and it all ties together. The end goal, basically, we want to create a comic book out of our story and with everyone else's story,
Or a
and
movie.
eventually a movie. Yeah.
A
And
movie would be cool.
you know that just sounds cool. To me, I'm a nerd too. As you can tell, I had the Mandalorian.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a big comic book nerd. Well, I used to be. I don't really collect comic books anymore. You know, old age and responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
But I do. I make Gundams. I'm a huge Gundam fan. So
Nice.
that's a little story about Johnny Tacos that not many people know, except for if you live in my dwelling.
And now you know, and knowing's half the battle.
G.I. Joe.
Mm-hmm.
So with all this, you're trying to create like a universe, like like the Marvel universe or DCU or even Hasbro with their Transformers G.I.
Mm-hmm.
Joe thing coming together. Hopefully I didn't ruin anybody's ending to a Transformer movie. So with this, I see that your fan base is growing, daily, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
looking at your website here, Theoterran .com. That's where you can learn a little bit about the band. Have some pretty awesome pictures. Y'all really like blue.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
We have themes. Yeah.
yeah. And my question is, because I looked on like the past concert y'all had, you have like stage performers in the back.
Mm-hmm.
Are they just like hype men, or do they play instruments as well?
Oh, they actually, yeah, they play along with us. They're basically our live band and our Cyber Vikings. So
Yes.
people want to,
TM.
yeah, TM. Uh, but yeah, so a lot of that, like I said, we've prayed. I mean, God's been really involved in this whole project. It's really His project. We just could be part of it.
Yeah.
But He's had a lot of ideas, even like the lore, everything with that, even our stage presence. It's been just all these inspirational ideas that He's given us, and so we have kind of these like, these guys playing, drums and guitars and bass and all that stuff with us. But they basically have like the whole cyberpunk, like glowing,
Helmet thing.
helmets and, robotic arms and all that stuff. And it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I was looking at it, it's like, wow, they put a lot into their theatrics, and
Mm-hmm.
it's awesome because you want to keep people's attention. Right now, we live in a world where it's hard to keep people's attention without showing like flashy things and
Mm-hmm.
and stuff like that. And there's so many other Christian bands out there that do have theatrics, like I Am the Pendragon,
Mm-hmm.
which
Yeah.
I see him in one of the pictures in the back. Which congratulations to him for being the front man for 13 minutes.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah. Jared's
Yeah.
a freaking awesome dude. He's like
Yeah.
family to me.
Yeah, he owes me. He owes me. You owe me. When I see you over there at Mystic Panda at the Rottweiler Records, I will find you. You owe me an autograph.
Okay.
I keep harassing him about it. When I went to go hang out with 13 Minutes last 2 weeks ago when we had the Finding Hope Festival, it was Aaron Michaels, one of Aaron Michaels' last performances.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't even know that he was going to be a part of 13 Minutes. And I usually know a lot about him, and he didn't tell me that. I was like, man.
Yeah, it was funny because like Jamie posted, I think it was probably about 2 months ago now, where he was like, "Hey, vocalists, I have a question for you." And so a lot of us were like, "Yeah, what do you need?" kind of thing. And then it just became, "Oh yeah, well, Jared's now the new vocalist." So all right, cool, So yeah, I still need to meet Jamie. I want to meet him. We've been friends on Facebook forever, but
Yeah,
he's
Jamie's a good dude. Sometimes I tune out his Facebook stuff because he puts too much memes on there. It's like every 5 seconds there's a meme. I pretty much literally think Jamie's life is a meme.
I mean, you're probably not wrong, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like that dude. I want to meet him.
So do y'all have any more upcoming concerts coming up?
Not yet.
Yeah, not
We're still
yet.
looking, still figuring out what God wants to do with that. So we're definitely interested. So if we're able to and be able to have it funded and things like that, absolutely, we're definitely interested.
Yeah. Yeah. We're hoping to do KCF next year, at least KCF. Hopefully audio feed again, hopefully whatever other festivals and concerts and stuff. It just, yeah, it's whatever God wants. And I mean, I kind of look at it this way. It's like if God wants us to play at a certain venue, then he'll make it happen, you know?
Yeah.
So if he doesn't want us there, it won't happen.
Yep.
Well, maybe next year y'all be at my festival, either the Finding Hope Festival that I'm a part of with Finding Hope, or my Metal Grace that I do once a year.
Are those both in? Are they both by you?
They're in Dallas. One's in Dallas and one's in Fort Worth.
Nice.
So I run the Metal Grace. I get a lot of bands, so many bands. They want to be a part of it, and it keeps growing and growing and growing. And God's really been working on having that. And the reason why I put Metal Grace is my love of Jesus, of course, and my love of metal, and putting that together is like an awesome goulash.
Ooh,
So
goulash sounds good right now.
But
I'm hungry.
and you can also get some merchandise, help out the band, because their bread and butter is merchandise.
Yeah.
They go out and perform, they put their heart, their soul into it, and with the grace of God, y'all were blessed to be a part of Audio Feed. But when I first saw Audio Feed, it was like all multicolored and stuff like that. It's like, is this real? And I guess it was.
We almost thought we weren't going to make it there, because it was like pretty much the entire Midwest. I actually was sick from it, but the entire Midwest was having issues with the air quality, where it was in the upper 100s on the scale. I think one day here it got to like 200 and something.
There's a lot of smoke. We got invaded by Canada smoke, so
pretty much.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. So
we didn't think we were going to make it, because we were like, well, we can't physically be outside all day in this with this air quality, because he has asthma and I'm extremely allergic to smoke. I knew I was a little bit, but yeah, the smoke was bad. Yeah. I mean, I was sick. I pretty much I had the symptoms of like a cold or flu or something. I was pretty bad, and it cleared up. What was it within?
We prayed about it, and it was like within 6 hours. Like,
yeah,
it rained a ton, and then like the smoke basically was like, it went away.
Yeah, like
I think
it was
like
before.
the day before, and we're like, okay, we're going tomorrow, kind of thing. But yeah, we were almost just like going to cancel, because first off, we were not feeling good, and then we were imagining people would not go anyway, because it's just that the air quality was terrible, and
it was storming. Oh, and I couldn't even hear. Like, my ears were still clogged from being all congested and everything. For our performance, I couldn't hear anything. I just winged it.
And you sounded awesome.
Grazie.
Well, we practiced a lot, so that also helped.
That do.
And I just want to say, because we're getting closer to the end of the show, I love talking to y'all. You're pretty down to earth, pretty down to Terran people.
Yes.
Yes.
But if y'all want to help support, they have some awesome stuff on merchandise. They got an apron for those people that try to cook, like myself. They got glassware, t-shirts. even metal prints. They got so much stuff here, and it helps them out further their ministry, because I know the costumes, the theatrics, the equipment is not cheap, and it 9 times out of 10 it comes out of the pocket of each individual. And yeah, just go out and check them out. They're My first time hearing y'all was through a friend of ours, Autumn.
Oh, cool.
And
Awesome.
she goes, "You need to listen to them." And the 5 minutes after the 5 minutes of listening to them, I said, "I got to get them on the show ASAP."
Thank you.
And
Well, thank you.
it's pretty awesome. I see a lot of good things coming your way. Just keep going. Don't let any kind of speed bump make you feel bad. If you get sick and you have to miss a concert and all that, don't think that's going to set you back, because maybe it's God just saying, "Hey, you need a break." I'm
Mhm.
glad that you got better. Even though you couldn't hear while you
Yeah.
were singing, you were still able to perform, and that's what God wants. God wants you to use your talents and your gifts that He has given to you to go out there and minister and
Mhm.
be disciples.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
I just think the outfits are like rad.
Cool. Thanks.
They
Yeah,
Thank you.
she actually, like, all the designs and stuff were pretty much her idea, and and God through her and stuff
Well,
like that.
God
So
help me with that.
yeah, like that,
yeah.
like the shirt I'm wearing, she designed that. We were on a Skype call, and I was like watching her kind of. It was just like, this is cool. God's done so much with it, and like ultimately He gets all the glory. I mean,
Yeah.
we're really, it's His band. We're part of it. We get to do it. We get to perform and things like that, and it's a blessing to do that. But ultimately, like, it is a ministry. It is something that we want to use as a tool to reach people where they're at.
And
And
that's honestly that's my favorite part is
mhm,
I love performing and I love writing the music cuz I mean writing with David is so much fun. It's so cool cuz we just go back and forth with ideas and we just
mhm,
come up with all of this really awesome sounding music, but then it's after at KCF and at Audio Feed, we went to our merch booths right away after we got off stage. And it's so cool to me to see and meet everybody that just watched us because I like hearing what they have to say about it. A lot of, I mean, it just, that again, like that's my favorite part because the fact that they got something out of our show, was really cool to me. And there was at Audio Feed even there was this little girl there that she was about, I think she
just
said
eight.
she was 8.
Yeah.
And her mom told me, she said, uh, that when she grows up, she wants to be a rock star like me. And I was like, dude, that's so cool because I was her age when I decided that. And, it's just, it's like I'm her Amy Lee, you
Yeah.
know? So it's just really cool to see what God does and how our music is affecting these people.
Mhm.
That's my favorite part.
Well,
Well, there's a
affecting for the good, uh,
yeah.
Yeah.
not negative affecting,
Mhm.
affecting
Right,
for
right,
the
right.
good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. And
Positive.
there
yeah.
was a girl at KCF that came up after the show, and she's like, "Can you sign our wrist?" And we're talking
Yeah.
to her and stuff like that, and Monica shared her testimony. Like, we both shared our testimony from the stage, and the girl just like looked at her, and she's like, what you said really hit home for me, and it kind of broke both of our hearts. She's like
Yeah.
12, and I'm like, man, you're going through this, and just we got to pray with her and stuff like that, encourage her, and but like I said, if whatever God wants to use our music for, to and everything related to it, it's for His glory and it's for His purpose, and we surrender all of it to Him, and it's we want
Right.
to meet more people and encourage and pray with them, and make a difference, let God do what God wants to do with it, so it's a blessing to be able to get to do this.
Yeah. And I think that's why we went through the things that we went through. Like, you know, with me with abuse and everything, it's like, well, now I get to use, now that I'm tougher, you know, I get to use that to talk about on stage and to help whoever else that's also dealing with it. So
Yeah,
Awesome. That is so great. I appreciate y'all being on the show.
thank you so much.
It is
Thank you.
it's so awesome to meet great musicians with a purpose, you know, not just to get there and become the next rich person or you know, the next mega rock star. Just people that are out there that generally enjoy doing music and enjoy their ministry and able to be free about their testimony, because so many people need to hear that testimony to know that, hey, we're not alone. You know, I'm not alone. I'm in this room alone, and it's dark and it's scary. But then when you find out, you start, and that's why I do that Taco Tuesday testimonial, is to let people, everyday Joe or Jane, come on the show and do a testimony. Just, it's not just for them to release their pain and their struggle through their testimony, and it's not only to glorify God, but it's also to be a beacon to all those who are out there that, hey, that think that, hey, there's no way to fix them, there's no way to get them on the right path, and there's always a way, and that way is through Jesus.
Absolutely, 100%.
And you know what? I want to keep this party going, even though we're going away. I want to get this party going with the song that I put on my Independence Through Metal 4th of July special, that I think to me is like one of the songs I like out of the three that you've given me, is Static. You know, and to me, it's like, I don't want to start no static. I want to hear some static, you know, and you know, I just want to play it. I want to play it. I want to thank you for being on the show. Y'all are awesome. I can't wait to further this relationship. We're all brothers and sisters in Christ now. We're a big community. The metal community, the Christian metal community, has always been warm and welcome, and just loving each other. So here we go. Here is Static by Theoterran on the Johnny Taco Show. All right. Forget about